Right now on Apple Valley News Now live at 5, it's a busy day for firefighters in the Benton City area. We're covering the Lob wildfire. We'll bring you up to date. Plus,
whether there's trauma in their past or just things they're dealing with in their life every day.
One Yakima area school district on a mission to help kids with their mental health. We'll explain. And later,
we get updated on what's going on with our cities and towns. We have lots of special speakers coming in.
Only Apple Valley News Now is there for day one of a statewide conference, working with city leaders on how to improve their skills. And Stacy is tracking a warm-up.
And taking a look across the region, we've got sunshine, warmer temperatures, a little bit of smoke and haze. Well, how will that impact you? The news at 5:30 or 5 starts right now.
This is Apple Valley News Now at 5 on your side.
All right, straight up at 5 o'clock. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us on this Tuesday. I'm Austin Reed. Wendy is off. And we begin with Fire Watch. Firefighters spent the afternoon in the Benton City area working on a wildfire that broke out late in the afternoon. This was on Rupert Road, just north of Benton City. The fire, now known as the Lob Fire, has burned 2 acres, but we're learning it is now under control. There was a request of additional support because some homes and farm animals were being threatened. That request was later canceled. At this hour, though, fire crews are still on the scene. A vehicle fire along I-84 near Tower Road brought multiple crews from Boardman Fire Rescue into action yesterday afternoon. Just after 1 p.m., firefighters found a car on fire with the flames spreading to nearby grass in the center divide. Brush 81 quickly worked to contain the grass fire while other units focused on putting out the vehicle. Everyone inside the car got out safely. No one was hurt. The cause of this fire still unknown. In the meantime, we have new information on the Barstow Road fire. Crews are making significant progress on the wildfire that broke out in parts of Walla Walla and Columbia counties. This blaze broke out over the weekend and has already burned just over 1,500 acres, according to authorities. No evacuation orders are in place, but the fire is now 37% contained. Officials urge people in the area to continue to be aware as the fire continues to be active in the area north of Prescott, right off of Barstow Road. In educational news, we're learning more about the decision from the Findlay School District on their approval for a 4-day school week beginning this fall. School officials tell us the decision comes as the school continues to work through a $1 million budget shortfall. Despite the passing of the levy earlier this year, Superintendent Brian Long says savings still need to be made. He says the decision didn't come lightly and it was debated heavily.
We began to research it from other school districts that are doing it. We found that there would be a cost savings to move to a 4-day school week, and the idea was really welcomed by the community. It was welcomed by the school board and welcomed by our staff, and so we pursued it.
So how does the change affect student activities like sports and extracurriculars? We've got more details on that coming up at 6:30 tonight. Students in some Yakima, Kittitas, Grant, and Klickitat County schools will soon have resources and access to some new options. Educational Service District 105 has received a 3-year grant to provide expanded mental health services in the schools it serves. The grant will focus on prevention and early detection of mental health disorders. Some of the resources they named include preventative screening and referrals. Brandon Riddle, Assistant Director of Student Support, says the resources will help students be able to focus on the classroom instead of struggling on where to find help.
And that's our ultimate goal, is how to remove barriers for them to be successful in the classroom. We know that math and ELA and all those things are so important, but if kids don't show up ready to learn and in a space where they can learn, whether there's trauma in their past or just things they're dealing with in their life every day, if a kid shows up with food insecurities or dealing with anxiety or depression, they're not going to be the best learner in the classroom.
ESD 105 is working with school districts over the next year to plan out resources and create individualized plans. All right, Stacy Lee joining us with a first look at our forecast. And yeah, it was warm today.
This is the warmest day of this week.
Oh.
Then things are going to go cooling down a little bit.
And then back up maybe?
And then back up next week.
Wow.
So we're doing this again.
The roller coaster.
Yes, the roller coaster is on. Taking a look outside right now on our Bi-Mart Skycam, you see that haze in the air? You're not imagining that. We've had some upper level smoke and haze in the region coming from various fires. Now, this is way up in the atmosphere, and it's not really impacting our air quality, which is good news. However, it does kind of block the sun out. So right now in Yakima, it's 88 degrees, the humidity at 21%. The winds are light at 6 miles per hour. Our sunset at 8:52, but you're not imagining the smoke and the haze. In fact, here's our futurecast, and you can see that smoke and haze again. This is way up in the atmosphere, and those winds should start to decrease the smoke, but it is pretty prevalent and present throughout the area. As far as air quality that goes, though, we've been in the green pretty much all day. There's a little bit of moderate air quality impacted here between Yakima and the Tri-Cities, right around Sunnyside area. But overall, we have good air quality. Here's our breezy to gusty winds. They're going to move up to about 30 miles an hour, peaking later tonight. And we'll see those winds fairly light here in the Tri-Cities, but picking up along the foothills of the Blues this afternoon as well. Temperatures warm-ish. Some of us up there in the 94 for Hermiston and Hanford, 93 Tri-Cities, 92 Walla Walla, 88 Yakima. So planning your evening out, you're going to see 80s and 90s, 70s and 80s by 8, and a pretty pleasant warm evening still in the 70s at 10 o'clock. For tomorrow, there's the drop in temperatures from the 90s back down to the 80s and the low 90s for the region. So a lot of active weather, basically just warm and dry, and temperatures are going to stay on the cooler side through Friday, and then we'll start to see a gradual warming trend once again. And if you don't have the Apple Valley News Now weather app, go download it today. I'll give you more details on this week's forecast coming up. Austin?
All right, Stacy, thank you very much. We'll see you soon. The city of Pasco is taking a closer look at fluoride in its drinking water. Council members recently voted to launch a study on the effects of removing fluoride, a move sparked by growing health concerns, particularly about children's development. Fluoride has been part of Pasco's water supply since 1998 to help prevent cavities, but some officials now question its safety.
This was brought up 8 years ago prior to me being on council, and they were looking to remove it at that time as well. And so that's where we're at. So last night we discussed some social media and outreach campaign items, such as putting narratives and literature over on the utility bills. We're going to also be calling people, leaving messages. We're going to have a social media posting on Facebook next door. So we're going to get the information out there. There's also going to be a survey.
Councilman Perales also plans to host a public comment session and even go door to door over the next few months. The city of Yakima is working on a project meant to improve conditions for underserved communities. Yesterday, the city started constructing new water and wastewater systems in the northeast area of the city. Water and irrigation engineer Chad Reddick says the new system will be an improvement for residents and that these public services are essential. The project will cost over $2 million, funding that comes from a grant. Work in the south central area of Yakima will begin in October, and the project is expected to be complete by February of next year. New tonight, the Port of Benton is making progress with its plans for a brand new intermodule facility in North Richland. The facility will sit on about 500 acres of land in North Richland. It was recently acquired through a land swap with the city of Richland. It's centered around an existing rail loop and will help move freight more efficiently between trucks and trains, helping support local industries and boosting the regional economy. However, port officials say it could be a big piece in bringing more businesses to the Tri-Cities.
And that's really the benefit, is having one of these key pieces to some of these customers. Could be a Walmart or a Target or anything that's looking to really build.
Construction is not expected to begin until late next year or even around 2027. And Walla Walla County dispatchers want voters to know about Proposition Number 1, a measure they say could really help save lives. Prop 1 creates a 0.2% sales and use tax to help fund 911 operations. The money would go to upgrading outdated equipment and possibly building a brand new dispatch center. Officials say it would ease the financial burden currently placed on local agencies and that visitors, not just residents, would contribute to the cost.
It's not a tax that is meant to burden our residents. It's a tax that is meant to provide equitable funding and a platform where visitors can also provide funding to the 911 system as well as the residents.
If passed, the measure is expected to bring in over $3 million a year for emergency communications. Apple Valley News Now, live at 5, is just getting started. Still ahead, we have an update on the NHL draft and how it impacts the Kraken. Plus, all right, and we're gonna have a lot more news, but as we leave you to break, here's a live picture from our Skycam network across Yakima and Richland. We'll be right back.
Since 1983, Nissan has been assembling award-winning vehicles right here in America. And now we've lowered MSRP on Rogue and Pathfinder at the Nissan Summer Sales Event.
Get 0% APR for 60 months on Rogue or Pathfinder.
It's the Click It RV Union Gap Star Spangled RV Sales Event, now until July 6th. Shop new and used RVs from Grand Design, Rockwood, and more. There's 0 down and no payments for 6 months. And the highest paid for your trade-in. It's time for your independence as you hit the road in your RV, camper, trailer, or fifth wheel. And get low American pricing before the tariffs hit. Nobody beats a Click It RV deal. We guarantee it. So get here for the Click It RV Star Spangled Sales Event, going on now through July 6th.
A drunk driver just blew a stop sign and we collided. My vehicle was total. What about the vehicle? How am I gonna get to work? How am I gonna continue taking care of my family? I contacted Tamaki Law and I told them about what had happened. Tamaki made it very simple, very easy. It was a stress relief for me. If you happen to be in an accident, call Tamaki Law.
Bathfitter does showers? That's right. We offer a wide selection of beautiful and functional showers in all shapes and sizes. We can even convert your bath into a shower. How about that? With our seamless one-piece walls and hundreds of design options, you'll get a beautiful new shower to fit your needs, guaranteed for life. Bathfitter's been around for 40 years, and we've been experts at showers for just as long. Get yours today. Bathfitter, it just fits. Go to bathfitter.com to book your free consultation.
Right now at US Cellular, you can get 4 free phones plus 4 lines for $90.
Hey, we're tired of having the wool pulled over our eyes with these hidden requirements. What aren't we seeing?
Yeah. Do we get our choice of free phones?
Yep, you get the latest phones.
I bet we have to trade in our old phones, though.
Nope, sure don't.
Wow.
High five. Almost. Higher.
Yes.
Nope.
Get 4 phones plus 4 lines for $90 with no trade-in. And we'll pay off your current contract when you switch. US Cellular, built for us.
Since 1983, Nissan has been assembling award-winning vehicles right here in America. And now we've lowered MSRP on Rogue and Pathfinder at the Nissan Summer Sales Event.
Get 0% APR for 60 months on Rogue or Pathfinder.
Jay Daly, Jessica Jalal, and Josh Colbreth. Good morning, Northwest from Apple Valley News Now.
Welcome back to the news at 5. Turning to continuing coverage, the U.S. military strikes on 3 of Iran's nuclear facilities last weekend did not destroy the core components of the country's nuclear program and likely only set it back by months. That's according to early U.S. intelligence and an assessment which was described by 4 people briefed on it. The assessment, which has not been previously reported, was produced by the Defense Intelligence Agency. It is based on a battle damage assessment conducted by U.S. Central Command in the aftermath of the U.S. strikes. The White House acknowledged the existence of the assessment, but said they disagreed with it. All right, in more local news now, city leaders from across Washington state are gathering in Kennewick this week for the Association of Washington Cities annual conference. Only Apple Valley News Now is at day 1 of the event. It runs through the 27th at the Three Rivers Convention Center. It's the event for mayors, council members, and city staff focusing on challenges like affordable housing, public safety, infrastructure funding, and even the role of artificial intelligence in local government. The conference gives city leaders and officials a chance to share ideas, learn from statewide leaders, and bring new solutions back to their communities.
It's really important that we are doing everything we can to represent all 281 cities and towns, and that means getting to every corner of the state as often as we can. To be an effective council member or an effective mayor, you need to understand not just what's going on in your community, but what's going on across the state.
During the conference, attendees will also have the opportunity to tour the Hanford site. And to the environment now, WashDOT is hosting a series of meetings for the public asking for their input on what should happen if the Snake River dams are removed. One of those meetings happening tonight in Pasco. Now, the meeting just got underway at the Pasco Library and goes until 8 this evening. This is all part of Phase 2 of the Lower Snake River Dam's transportation study. WashDOT is looking at what it would take to shift goods currently moved by barge onto trucks and trains instead.
We're in the process of creating our scenarios right now. So are there ideas on the table from the public that they can think of that might help us kind of build additional scenarios? As I said, we've only got 2 scenarios we're looking at right now. We plan on running 4 total.
There is no formal presentation, just stations with maps, data, and planners answering questions. People are able to come at any time between now and 8 p.m. to take a look at the information and even give their input. Hey, in sports tonight, Mason Marchment is officially a member of the Seattle Kraken. The 30-year-old was traded to Seattle from the Dallas Stars for 2 draft picks. Marchment spent the past 3 seasons of his 6-year career in Dallas, where he made 3 straight conference finals. Meanwhile, the Kraken have missed the playoffs for the past 2 seasons. Marchment scored 22 goals for the Stars last year, good enough for 5th on the team.
I think Seattle is a contender. We have a lot of good pieces. There's a lot of good players. I talked to Monty, and he's filled me in a lot of the guys, and seems like there's a lot of good guys in that room. So, I don't think that we're far off at all from the outside looking in right now.
Remember, Apple Valley News Now is your TV home for the Kraken. By the way, with the NHL draft starting this Friday, expect to meet some other new faces to the team. Seattle holds the 8th pick in the first round.
From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Stacy Lee.
All right, let's talk about our weather pattern or lack thereof. There's not a lot going on the big map here that we're going to take a look at. There are a few scattered little showers moving across the Cascades. Very light, not a lot of moisture. A little bit more on Thursday towards the top corner of the state, the Olympic Peninsula. But overall, our area dry and a warming trend on the way. Now, we cool down for the next couple of days. As this pattern moves across the area, it's going to bring some gusty winds. Let's take a look at our futurecast winds for tonight. We're going to see winds starting to pick up a little bit later this evening, especially down here on the I-84 corridor through the Dalles and Hermiston and Pendleton area. Of course, we remain breezy through the Kittitas Valley, and we'll see those winds briefly pick up in Yakima. Overnight tonight, you'll feel those stronger winds in the Columbia Basin, Tri-Cities, and the foothills of the Blues. And as we get into Wednesday, we'll see even stronger and gustier winds, particularly that pattern is moving from west to east, right here along the foothills of the Blues, the contour of the Blue Mountains, and through the mountain passes and gaps. So a little bit breezy out there, so get ready for that. We're going to see those cooler temperatures Wednesday and Thursday. Then we gradually warm into the weekend, and then triple digits. We're going to be counting those in just a bit. Let's talk about our averages for the month of June so far in Yakima. We had 4 days in a row below average. Today, or yesterday's daytime high at 82 was right around where we should be. And then we're going to see that bump up tomorrow today after the daytime official high post above average. And then check it out as we get into Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. That's when the heat wave begins. That would be heat wave number 2 of the season. Remember, we hit those triple digits in the Tri-Cities on June 9th and June 10th, and then we'll have the potential to see those triple digits returning to the area just past the weekend on Monday and Tuesday. of 102 and 103. But today, enjoyed the sunshine, 93, bit on the warm side out there. Humidity starting to reduce as things get warmer and drier. It's going to increase fire danger. Winds at 7 miles per hour. Our sunset at 8:52. Look at the temperatures elsewhere around the area. Columbia Basin is the hot spot this afternoon. Even in Walla Walla and Pendleton, pretty warm there. 80s, though, for the Yakima and Kittitas Valley. Tonight, temperatures are going to be pleasant, but on the warmer side. Look at those overnight lows staying in the 60s for most of us. We'll be in the upper 50s in Yakima. Here's that 7-day planner. Those breezy winds through the region up to about 30 miles an hour for Tri-Cities. It'll be breezy Thursday into Friday. Temperatures staying cool, and then look, we start heading right back up, where we could see our next potential heat wave, or the first heat wave of summer 2025. Here's what it looks like in Yakima, also looking at dancing with triple digits or getting there by the early part of next week. In Ellensburg, temperatures are going to be pretty pleasant the next couple of days. However, the winds, not so much. Going to be very windy once again in the area, with temperatures again flirting with triple digits on Monday and Tuesday. Walla Walla also some breezy winds, but 80-degree temps, pretty pleasant right into the weekend. You'll start feeling the heat and then the warm up on Sunday. And Hermiston also 80s, pretty pleasant. Then the triple digits are here. So other than a little bit of wind, lowering relative humidity, increasing fire danger, but temperatures are looking better for a couple days.
And that's just kind of new data, right, within the last few days?
Yeah, it keeps saying that triple digit.
Yeah.
We'll see as we get closer.
Okay.
It keeps teetering that number back and forth. But it looks like there's a pretty good chance of a good heat wave heading into that 4th of July area, or the last weekend of June.
That's right.
Yep.
All right. Thank you, Stacy.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. We've got the Spotlight, and that's coming at you next here on Apple Valley News Now, live at 5.
Fly the Northwest over a beautiful bike ride. Apple Valley News Now at 6 tonight.
Now's the time for a great deal on a new Honda. It's time to drive smarter. With high-tech features and excellent reliability. From the Kelley Blue Book Best Value brand. Right now, you can get it 4.99% APR on a 2025 Civic.
There's work in you. And then there's Chill U. Chill U is more carefree and curious, more present, more relaxed, more fun. Chill U is the best you. There you are. Bring back your Chill U with an escape to Coeur d'Alene, the city by the lake. Win a dream giveaway at cda4.fun.
There's a reason Chevy is called the heartbeat of America. A heartbeat strong, steady, unwavering, like the people who keep this country moving. For them, only America's most dependable truck will do. In every Chevy truck, like every Chevy driver, dependability comes standard.
Get the freedom to save and $5,350 total value on this Silverado. Plus, trade in an eligible vehicle and get $3,250 total cash allowance when you finance with GM Financial.
See your community Chevy dealers.
Kittitas Valley Healthcare is your trusted home for health, offering expert orthopedic care for your family. With over 55 years of combined experience, our team uses state-of-the-art equipment to improve surgical outcomes and provide compassionate, patient-centered care. We're committed to making your experience comfortable and efficient, so you can stay active and healthy. Learn more and schedule a consultation through our website at kvhealthcare.org. Your home for health.
Which automaker employs the most hourly workers in the country? Ford. Which automaker assembles the most vehicles in the country? Ford. That's not a coincidence. It's a commitment. A commitment Ford dealers share by offering employee pricing across a full lineup of Ford vehicles.
Get employee pricing plus 1.9% and $4,500 bonus cash on a 2024 Ford F-150 STX. Only at your local Ford dealer.
The Good Feet store just really helped me out. I mean, they gave me the right arch support for my feet, not somebody else's feet. Then it was like, okay, this is something special.
See for yourself with the free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Hey, weeknights at 5, I bring you the spotlight. Tonight it comes from the Arc of the Tri-Cities. They tell me they are in desperate need of summer camp staff who can drive. They say they are even having to cancel campers due to the lack of staff. So if you have a clean driving record and want to help kids have a fun summer, you can call Donna. Her number, 509-947-6090. She also tells me that texts work as well. Hey, if you have an idea for the spotlight, just send me an email, areed@applevalleynewsnow.com. All right, Stacy, what do we have coming next?
Of course, a reason to. And one final peek at your weather forecast.
Josh Cobra, First Alert Weather on Good Morning Northwest from Apple Valley News Now, on your side.
This 4th of July, celebrate the freedom to roam with Broadmoor RV, where every mile brings you closer to what matters most. From family road trips to quiet nights under the stars, your next adventure starts here. Proudly serving the Northwest with unbeatable selection, service, and spirit. This Independence Day, go further, dream bigger, and drive free. Broadmoor RV, we make camping fun.
Online security is, like, as a mom, one of the very highest priorities. There's so many things that we have to watch out for. With Spectrum, I don't have to worry about it. I know when my kids are on their devices, they are protected because I'm not always sitting right next to them. The reliability, the connectivity, the security, everything is kind of all in one. That absolutely makes it worth it to me.
Fast, reliable internet starting at $30 a month, backed by the Spectrum commitment to keep you connected.
Red, white, and brand new appliances. Declare independence from laundry delays with Get It Today inventory at Fred's. Looking to save space in your laundry room? Shop GE and Profile Laundry this 4th of July with exclusive savings at Fred's Appliance. You can save $1,000 on this GE Profile all-in-one washer and dryer combo. Plus, save up to $500 with an additional Fred's Buy More, Save More exclusive rebate. Swing into Fred's Appliance to shop all exclusive GE and Profile laundry sales today.
There's a reason Chevy is called the heartbeat of America. A heartbeat strong, steady, unwavering, like the people who keep this country moving. For them, only America's most dependable truck will do. In every Chevy truck, like every Chevy driver, dependability comes standard.
Get the freedom to save and $5,350 total value on this Silverado. Plus, trade in an eligible vehicle and get $3,250 total cash allowance when you finance with GM Financial.
See your community Chevy dealers.
Hey, your homework done?
Yep.
Hey, is your homework done?
This kind of is homework. So, what do you think?
I'm so proud of you. Can I play some more?
Is all your work done?
Washington's Lottery is a proud partner in the goal to promote college and career training. Each time you play, you're helping students statewide.
How about a summer bike ride through the North Palouse?
Palouse has rolling hills, and oftentimes you will get into rollers.
Fly the Northwest.
You get that sense of the roller coaster ride in a way.
Apple Valley News Now at 6 tonight.
Next DT, Scarlett Johansson's New York takeover with a Jurassic World cast.
This is really happening.
Plus, Bahamas Week continues with reality legend Boston Rob. Next DT.
Tonight at 7 on Apple Valley News Now.
And welcome back. We look forward to this segment, The Reason to Smile. Now, 2 reasons to smile today. I stopped by my cherry guru up here on the corner. And, okay, so this is a Rainier cherry. Everybody knows what those look like, right? They're good. They're like favorite kind. Well, these are strawberry Rainiers, and they're extra sweet, but they look like a Bing, but not a Bing.
Okay.
So ask for strawberry Rainiers if you're out looking for cherries.
Thank you.
Just in case. They're delicious. We'll eat some after we get off the
Oh,
air.
I'm ready. That's for sure.
All right, let's take a look at your screen. Reason to smile today comes from our friend Dee in Walla Walla. She says this is camelina crop, and they use it for aviation fuel. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Good to know. Thanks, Dee. QR code, top of your screen. That's how you get your photo on TV. Thanks to our friends at Lifetime Dental Care. All right, a quick look for tomorrow, a cooler day, Austin. So a little bit of a cool down and then a warm up. So roller coaster ride of temperatures continue. 60s and 70s out the door, 80s by midday, and some of us, Tri-Cities hitting 90, but everybody else should remain in the 80s for the day. And the rest of us here at the station, we're going to be eating cherries.
'Tis the season.
Yep.
Thanks, Stacey. Thanks for joining us here at 5. Hoping your news is good news.
Have a good night.